My mother-in-law offered to babysit for free while we went on vacation, so I checked the nanny cam and filed a police report the same day. Delilah had been subtly campaigning to watch 4-year-old River for months. Every family gathering, she'd make comments about how we never trusted her with alone time. I successfully raised 3 children, she'd remind us, shooting pointed looks at my husband Fletcher. I think I can handle one little boy for a weekend. The thing is, Fletcher hadn't turned out successfully at all. He had panic attacks in crowded spaces, couldn't sleep without checking locks 3 times, and still flinched when people moved too quickly near him. Whenever I asked about his childhood, he'd deflect or mumble something about being an anxious kid who needed structure. But River loved Grandma Delilah. She brought elaborate gifts and showered him with attention during supervised visits. When she offered to watch him for our 5th anniversary trip, Fletcher immediately agreed. She's mellowed with age, he insisted when I hesitated. Grandparents are different than parents. I installed the nanny cam 2 days before leaving, a tiny device disguised as River's stuffed dinosaur. Just for peace of mind, I rationalized. We made it exactly 4 hours into our mountain retreat before my phone buzzed with motion alerts. I expected to see River playing blocks or Delilah reading stories. Instead, I watched her drag my son across the living room by his wrist. River's feet barely touched the ground as she hauled him toward the corner. When he stumbled, she yanked harder, nearly dislocating his shoulder. Jesus Christ, I breathed. Fletcher looked over from unpacking. What's wrong? I shoved the phone at him. His face went white. On screen, Delilah forced River to stand facing the wall, arms rigid at his sides. When he tried to turn around, she'd slam her palm against the back of his head, snapping it forward. My baby's shoulders shook with silent sobs. We're leaving. Now, I said, throwing clothes back into our suitcase. Maybe there's an explanation. Look at him, Fletcher. Look at your hands right now. His hands were trembling as he watched Delilah grab River's face, squeezing his cheeks while screaming something inches from his nose. River's eyes were wide with terror, the same expression I'd seen on Fletcher's face during his worst panic attacks. Call 911, Fletcher said quietly. I'll drive. We broke every speed limit racing home. The police met us there just as Delilah was serving River dinner, 2 hours early. When we burst through the door, she smiled innocently. You're back already. River's been such a good boy today. River ran to me and buried his face in my neck. I could feel him trembling. The officers reviewed the footage on my phone. As they watched, Delilah's expression shifted from confusion to rage. That's completely out of context, she snapped. He was having a tantrum. Children need firm boundaries. Ma'am, what we're seeing constitutes child abuse, the lead officer replied. As they handcuffed her, she stared directly at Fletcher with cold fury. I made you into a man, she hissed. You were pathetic, and I gave you backbone. Fletcher knelt beside River, wrapping him in a protective embrace. Nobody will ever treat you that way, he whispered. Daddy promises. That night, River slept curled between us. Fletcher held him close, finally understanding that real strength isn't surviving cruelty. It's ensuring your children never have to. 3 months later, Delilah was convicted of child endangerment. Fletcher started therapy to address his childhood trauma. And River? He's learning that love should never hurt.